Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I hope you are fine and in good condition. And here we are with me, Miss Oney Vebriandaru, as your English teacher. In this occasion, I would like to talk and to explain to you about our material today. Okay, everybody, before we continue to our lesson today, English lesson, please pay attention and prepare your book, your notebook, and then your pen for our material about talking about self. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, everybody. How are you today? Okay, I hope you are all in a good condition. But before entering today's material, make sure that the students have started by reading the prayer, which I have put the link at the beginning. Okay, so before we start our lesson today, let us see and pay attention to our material today. Okay, for the first meeting, our material today is talking about self. In the material on talking about self, it explains how to introduce oneself in a conversation or in a text. Introduce self is very important thing. In order to introduce oneself and mention the identity to develop the ability to communicate with others. So for the first, here is some common phrase used to introduce self. Okay, for the first, let me introduce myself. My name is blah blah blah. So for the next example, I would like to introduce myself. I am blah blah blah. So for the others, common phrase, allow me to introduce myself. I am blah blah blah. So for the next, I want to introduce myself. My name is or I am is blah blah blah. But in introducing self, we can also use greetings before introducing ourselves, like the greetings below, like good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, how do you do? So hello and the other greetings. To start a conversation, you can use a greeting sentence. And when you want to end conversation, you can use a parting sentence too, such as greeting or goodbye, see you later, see you next, or it's been nice talking to you. So for the next, here is also some information that we can convey in introducing ourselves, such as our name, origin, our hobbies, our favorite colors, food, drink, or any other subject do you like. So you can tell to everyone what do you like, so what is your favorite or what is your hobby. But the important things, you can give your name or your identity to your partner speaker in the conversation. Okay, here is the example phrase talking about self that you can give, or some information like my name is, or I am a student, I live in Malang. So I have 3 siblings. I like Korean food, I like Indonesian food, I like Chinese food or the other. So you can tell my favorite color is pink. So my favorite drink is boba. So the other subjects you can talk or you can give the information to your partner of speaker. And then, beside introducing ourselves to the others or to your partner speakers, of course, we can introduce other people, such as our family, our friends, and so on. And here are some examples of commonly used phrase to introduce other people, which we can use in a conversation. Here we are. I would like to introduce you to my grandmother or my mother, my father. So the other example, let me introduce you to my friends or to Rani or to Ahmad or the other. So the other, hi Erna, this is Sony. So Sony, this is Erna. Here, common phrase if you want to introduce your friend to the other friends. And then you can also introduce your father like this. My father is a farmer. My father is a doctor. He works every day at the hospital. Or you can also introduce your mother or your sister or the other family or the other people which you have to know. Okay, and now let's we see that in this picture there are 2 persons or they have a good conversation. So for introduce their self. So and now we want to see the example of introducing self in the conversation with a good sentence. In a conversation, of course, there are 2 people talking to each other, or it can more than 2 people, whether it's introducing themselves or talking about other things related to them, like their jobs, their activity, or their identity, or etc. We can see here an example of a conversation between Handi and Nastya, who are talking about themselves. Here we are. Handi, good evening. My name is Handi. Have we met before? So, Nastya, I think we never met before. Anyway, hi, my name is Nastya. How are you? I'm good, thanks. Do you stay around here? Yes, I stay in Venus' apartment on 4th floor. Well, that's nice. I also stay here on 7th floor. Wow, we should meet then. Well, sorry Nastya, I think I can't stay any longer. It's nice to meet you. And then for the last, nice to meet you too. Now, with these examples of conversation, we can find out what if someone who doesn't know each other is introducing themselves to each other. Here is the example of conversation for introducing their self for each other that haven't known before or haven't seen before. You can also use this example for your everyday if you meet someone that you haven't known or you haven't seen before. Okay, from the explanation above, we can know how to converse with other people when introducing ourselves. Then, that way, you can practice using the phrase that I have explained before. So when you want to explain to other people, you can also use the phrase that has been listed, such as if you want to introduce a friend to the other friends, or your family to your friends, or the other relatives. Okay, so can use practice. You can practice every day if you meet the other people that you haven't known before, or you want to introduce yourself in front of your class, in front of public or the other. You can use the phrase that I have explained before. Here in after is pronoun. Pronoun are noun pronouns that are used to avoid unnecessary repetition of word. So pronoun is divided into three kinds. They are subjective, objective, and possessive. So pronoun are the word that take place of noun. In essence, a pronoun is a word that replaces object so that we don't repeat the same word as an example of someone's name. Here, I want to give you the example. For the example is, we can change Rita's to she, or Ahmad to he. So we can replace Dodi to he or the other thing. And then so here is the example for pronoun. So here we can see the tables, the pronoun. For the example, subjective is I, you, we, he, they, was, it. So for the objective, here is. So I will show you the table. Here is a table that states the part and types of pronoun that must use pronoun by every student to make easier for your understanding about pronouns and the type of the pronouns. Okay, let we see the table. Here in this table, we can see clearly the kinds of pronoun and also the subject that are substituted in a word. Okay, and now I will explain about kinds of pronoun in Bahasa, and I want to give you the example of each pronoun to make sure that you have understand and to make easier for your understanding about pronoun. For the first is subjective pronoun. Here we can say in Indonesian is kata ganti subjek dalam sebuah kalimat. For the example, I have 3 dogs. And then here from this sentence, we can find that subjective pronoun is I. Okay, we go to for the next number. Objective pronoun. Objective pronoun here is kata ganti dari objek dari satu kalimat. I want to give you for the example. My sister is a good student. Her campus gave her scholarship. And then here we can see and we can find that the objective pronoun is her. Because here we change my sisters and then we can say her. So for the next, possessive adjective. Possessive adjective is kata ganti untuk mengindikasi kepemilikan or possession. Kata ganti ini digunakan dengan noun. We can use in noun. For the example, we run the business together. And then our business is good. So we can see the our here is kepemilikan. So for the last is possessive pronoun. before this possessive pronoun, I have talked about possessive adjective. Now, here is possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun menunjukkan kepemilikan tetapi tidak diikuti dengan nouns. For the examples, these are your dog. These dogs are yours. And then you can see the difference between possessive adjective and then possessive pronoun. If possessive adjective, we use noun, but for possessive pronoun, we don't use the noun in the sentences. Okay, all of them are material in talking about self, which explain what sentences can be used to introduce self and what information can be given in introduce self, and then how to use pronoun in a sentence and what the types and kind of pronouns in a sentence that we can use. So, before I appoint one of you to introduce yourself, I want to ask you, I suppose that you have already understand what I have explained to you in this material. So, before I close today's meeting, I have some worksheet that you should work on to make sure how well you understand today's material about talking about self and then pronoun. You can open the link for the worksheet in the beginning and then you can do it with your understanding. Okay? In this material, talking about self, we can find out what phrases are used to introduce self, like, let me introduce myself, my name is blah blah blah. And also phrase that can be used to introduce others, like, hi Erna, this is Sony. So Sony, this is Erna. This sentence used to introduce your friend to another friends. And then there are also some information that can be mentioned in the introduction of self, such as your name, hobbies, favorite food, color, drink, etc. So, earlier we also learned about pronoun, there are three several kind, along with example of each type of pronoun. And then maybe enough for our meeting today. I hope you guys understand well the material today about talking about self and then pronoun and can apply it in the conversation or in your conversation, in everyday conversation, or you can also try it in the morning with your friend, your family, or the others. And I hope you are already well. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.